Well, hello there. I have a bit of an interesting idea, and that is that I am considering to start making daily videos once more and starting the whole process all over again. Now, if you followed my journey for any considerable amount of time, you might know that I already have done certain projects where I created daily videos or even daily vlogged certain parts of my journey, travels, and so on and so forth in the past. And I'm not entirely sure why exactly it is coming up today. Maybe it is my looming birthday coming up tomorrow, at which point I will have turned 31 years old, which, I don't know, it somehow feels like it's actually leaving the pre-30 behind. Because in a way, when I last started daily vlogging, I think that was around the time where I was turning 29, which felt really huge, and I probably made videos about the topic of, well, that's like the last year before turning 30. So that kind of whole thing was an interesting situation. Those pesky hiccups. Anyways, the thing is, I feel like I am at a turning point. It is a completely new situation, a new world to explore, essentially, with the ideas that Nicole and I are developing in terms of our businesses. The way that I am approaching business has also changed considerably, and my mindset shift around all of that with it. However, that also needs to be taken into action. So it's not just a, well, the mindset now has shifted, but there also has to be action behind all of that. Now that kind of brings up this chessboard right here, because obviously the whole situation of entrepreneurship and business building, it is a whole lot of strategy. And building that strategy out, trying to figure out what the next move will be, and ideally, sometimes even thinking a few steps ahead. However, I also want to keep flexible and want to be able to change the rules of the game at certain points in time, even though some others might completely stay the same. Now that's not really all that easy. It is because the whole world always and constantly keeps on changing. There are constantly new ideas coming up, new ventures to jump into, and a ton of things to say yes to, and of course also a ton of things to say no to. That whole process, though, brings up one thing in my opinion, and that is, how do you find your way in the whole concept of life, essentially? And right now, I'm still cluttered or spread out all over the place. And just yesterday, I actually kind of closed down certain coding projects once again because it's just too much. It's too much that I'm doing. Now, I don't know if starting a vlog type challenge again or a daily content creation challenge again will help me with that, but at least it's the area of things that I do that actually provides me with a certain type of income through the YouTube advertisement and of course also the affiliate earnings from the products that I oftentimes have linked in the description below. And that brings me to this point right now and this consideration to start this type of project again and create on a daily basis. And again, it feels exciting, but I know how much work this is. I know how much I respect people that have done this for an extended period of time. And the main reason why that is also next to the actual amount of work that it is to create these types of videos, but also it is the creativity needed to actually produce something every single day. Now, with all that said, I know that I can do something like this. I know that I'm capable in theory, and I know that it will be good for the channel and for my creativity to spark that again, to create more around me and to search for those things that are worth sharing. And I also know that seeing what other people have created and what they were able to create through that process and also looking back at those videos, what the storyline throughout those days, over weeks and months and even years can bring together and culminate to. It's also that really interesting aspect of being able to look back at certain aspects of your life, and some videos will be more interesting and some days there might not be an interesting part at all. But overall, it kind of also brings back another idea that I experienced when I was doing a 365 photography project, and that is that if I create every single day, then I'm bound to create something good in between that. But if I don't, I'm not actually creating anything at all. So if I'm forcing creation every day, then it sparks that creativity, and some days will be boring, but some days will be really, really cool. And the interesting thing is that those cool days would not have happened without the other boring days also being documented, because documentation is just part of it. And I'm bringing it back here to my filming corner. And that is because I think that if I start to do something like this, and if I continue this challenge tomorrow and the day after and so on and so forth, then this corner right here will be part of that, of course, because I am most likely not going to be having a adventurous life in the next coming days and weeks, because that's simply not part of my life right now. But it will be part of certain months and certain times. For example, the mentioned Marbella trip, which is coming up in October, that will be a whole different kind of adventure and powerful experience, I would say, which we'll embark on. And that will bring whole different ideas and possibilities in terms of documentation and sharing of those trips and experiences. But this desk right here and the usual review type content and so on will still be part of my daily creation as well. My main goal here, my main idea would be to actually publish every single day. It doesn't mean that I will document every single day of my life, because, to be honest, most days are really boring, with me just getting up, taking a shower, going to my desk, working there, walking my 10,000 steps, maybe filming something, and that's it. Not really all that exciting. But what I'm really excited about in the realm of a daily creation process is also these types of check-in videos, because I love to be transparent about those things, those processes that are also behind the scenes, to kind of think loud or think out loud and share what is going on and also what is developing and what my plans are and how those plans are shifting. Which, by the way, is also a real struggle for me, because so many times I am pushing away the start of the creation of some type of video project simply because in the back of my head I have this thought of, well, if I just wait 2 more days, then I will know what will have happened and then I can make this video better. Where instead, maybe it's worth simply just sharing the idea in that moment, or sharing the progress and the state of the idea or the project in that moment, and then see what will come of it after a few days, and then make an update to that previous story. And I think that making those types of story arcs throughout multiple videos and keeping that transparency flow going, that's really cool. But at the same time, it's really hard to do, at least for me, because I just like to be informed about things and I like to know better. And by doing so, I constantly push further and further away the part of actually making the video. And with many projects in my life, that actually led to the project never actually being on YouTube at all, because I never started with the first video starting to document the process. And once I figured out the whole process, for one, the figuring out the process was no longer interesting to document because it already had happened, and two, most of those projects just simply never really came to fruition. One of the biggest, for example, was when I was in Lombok, on the island of Lombok, which is part of Indonesia. I was thinking to buy a lot there and build a villa essentially. And I had a whole series planned about this type of project, from the initial idea, taking a look at the lot, even considering whether or not I am a person that is capable of owning a villa there or building a villa there and investing in that kind of a project, and then all the way through to contacting the owners of the land, starting to build a villa, starting to try to find investments, getting the money together. Like, all of those things would have been a really, really interesting project, but it just never came to fruition because I never actually got started. And at the end, the project kind of sank to the ground of the ocean, and the story was never told because obviously it already had happened and it had a, in quotes, bad outcome for me, so it did not get to the place where I would have wanted it to go. And so why even bother sharing that at all? And so I think creating content on a regular basis in a way keeps me honest. It helps me create more regularly. It helps me share the journey and the progress throughout that process. And by doing so, hopefully giving you also a more in-depth look at what is going on, how things are developing, and where it might lead throughout the next few months and possibly years. And now that I have started this video, I feel a certain possibility in me what this could mean, what this could bring, without actually having known the process, because I know how intense the editing of a project like this is, and a daily publishing schedule is not easy to keep up with, let's say that. But with all of that, I also want to keep doing my 10,000 steps, and I think today I am very far away. And very far might be going easy on myself. I was basically sitting on my desk all day doing thinking and preparing, testing stuff and giving feedback, deciding not to make a video about a product that was sent to me because it wasn't really that great. So that video is not going to be published, and I have 780 steps right now, which means I am like 9,300 steps short for my daily goal. But for now, I think I will just do a couple of steps here on the Walkolution and then see if Nicole is up for a walk outside, if the weather holds up, because it might start raining. So we'll see. So now with a start on the edit, I have the time machine running and a basic first edit of this first video, essentially. There's like a video inception done. Couple steps in, I'm at about 3,000. But now the question is, do we go for a walk?
Let's go for a walk.
Nicole doesn't have the same goal as I have with 10,000 steps for every single day, but I'm kind of forcing her sometimes. Like today. Today is good time for an evening walk, I would say.
It is. I am free to walk. Let's move the work away.
That's good. Move the work away and go for a walk. But to do so, I think I have to get changed because I don't want to walk in these clothes. And with those clothes, I can go outside. But I think today I am not going to bring the big camera because I still need to get used to carrying the big camera.
That's heavy.
Yes, and inconvenient with the mic on top. So I guess after the walk, I'm almost at 10,000, but let's just get them. Is this enough? Yes!
It is enough.
So with that, today's video is ending, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's video as I plan on publishing every single day now. Ciao, ciao!